Right, let's all
Hi guys, welcome to the lesson on how to play the solo from Slide Away by, you'll never guess, Oasis. That's right. That was a weird intro, but let's get cracking straight away. Sorry, I just sneezed, so I'm a little bit like, woo. So, really, another cool solo. Got a lot of the same things we'd expect to find in a Noel Gallagher solo. As usual, I'm just going to quickly go through the chords we're playing over. Some, interesting chords, classic bit of Noel Gallagher stuff. A lot of the same chords we've seen before. We've got an A minor 7. We've got a G. We've got a kind of F major 7. And that's our main chord sequence that we're playing over, which gives us the key of A minor, effectively. And then I think later on there's an F, isn't there? Rather than with a major 7. And that's it, really. Yeah. And there's a G7 right at the end. But so basically, interesting chords: A minor 7, F major 7. It's sometimes an F major 9 as well, and sometimes just an F, and then always just a G. As with a lot of their songs, it could well be a G5 as well. So you could play a G5 if you prefer that. But that tells us that is the key of A minor, which is also C major. So we're going to expect to see licks in the same positions as something like Don't Look Back in Anger. It's going to be the same key, so we're going to see a lot of similar licks. And of course, if you know that solo, you know we do particularly the stuff in the kind of second half of the solo with the, well, not even the second half. I mean, that could be taken straight from, which is from Don't Look Back in Anger, so similar. Anyway, I'm mumbling a little bit, but I find it really, really interesting when you start learning lots of songs by the same guy and you start to get used to their style, and I've started to do that with Noel Gallagher, and I really like it, actually. I like his solos a lot more than I thought I would do, but a lot of major sounding, a lot of major feeling stuff. But anyway, this one's a minor one, so let's crack straight on. A minor pentatonic position 1 is going to be the predominant position for this first little bit. Then we're going to sneak our way into position 2, which is going to be up there. And that's it, really. Position 1 and 2, love it. First bend is going to be 7th fret on the G string. It's a full tone bend, so we're going to take this D note up to this E note. That's probably what you'd expect, really. And it's just a very, very slow bend. We go up a tone, and then we slowly bring it back down to our D note. So we go D to E, back down to D, just very, very slow. It's a whole bar for the bend. And then you're into the next bit. But so yeah, take your time with that bend. Listen to the track, listen to my little cover of it, which should hopefully help you get used to the speed of that bend. But it's not a particularly difficult one. As usual, what I like to do is have my first finger not involved in the bend, but deadening the notes above. Thumb over the top if you can. And you want this bit of the knuckle here really to be on the bottom of the guitar, so you're moving not just your fingers, but you're moving your arm and your hand as well. And that way, if you play a lot of gigs and stuff, you won't get your arms quite so tired with your bends. A little bit about bending technique there. So next lick is going to be over the move from G to that F major 7, which is a cool move. We're going to start on 5 on the E string, 5 on the B string, then back to that 7 on the G string, okay? So that's right after we finish the bend. So we come back down, 5, 5, 7, then back to 5 on the G, okay? And then we're gonna play 5 again on the G, 7 on the G, 5 on the G, then on the D string a hammer on 5 to 7. So 5 on E, 5 on B, 7 on G, 5 on G. And then the next bit slightly faster, 5 to 7. Then 5, that's all on the G string, and then we end on the D string, hammer on 5 to 7. You said 10, don't know why. And that's the lick kind of more at full speed. Not really, but almost. Okay, so that's first lick. Yeah, classic. I mean, really anything in that first position is going to sound pretty good over that chord sequence as well, because there's nothing non-diatonic. There's nothing from without the key, so you're pretty safe with all those notes. Next lick is going to be now position 2. We're going to start on the 8th fret on the B string, and we're going to hammer onto the 10th fret on the B string. Then it's 8 on the E. Okay? Classic lick, he does that a lot. As I said, Don't Look Back in Anger is the one where he does it just over and over again. Then on the E string, we're going to play 8, and we're going to hammer to 10, and then we're going to pull off to 8. So it's 2 picks. You play 8, and then you re-pick again for the hammer on. It's almost a trill, but not quite. Back to 10, which is our A note, which in this case is the root note. Then we're going to play 8, 10, and then we're going to hammer on 8 to 10. So it's all together. Nice simple lick like that one as well. It works really, really nice. You have that move. So that is really more over G is where it starts. And then when we hit that kind of F, it's probably a major 9 maybe in that instance there, which is a weird chord if I play it in that open position. Then you're going to have the fast bit, and then when we get back to that A minor, we hammer on to that A note, which is exactly what we did here. If you noticed, if you're good with your notes, you'll notice that's the same thing he's done, just an octave up over each A minor bar. So we're going to see some more of that. That's lick 2. Lick 3, same kind of ideas that we've got before. We're going to bend the 7th fret on the G string up, then down, then 5th fret on the G string, then a little pull off 7 to 5, then 7 on the D, then 5 on the D, and then of course we're going to head back to the 7 by a hammer on 5 to 7. So we've got that same ending 3 times in a row effectively. First time we do it up here, then we do it down here, then we do it back up here. Oh, I got the rhythm slightly iffy there, didn't I? But those are the notes. As you can tell, that is one I had a little bit of trouble with rhythm-wise. Slightly more interesting rhythmically than a lot of the other stuff is straight up, just as you'd expect. Very easy to kind of hum and play. That's slightly more difficult. Not particularly though. Again, just listen to my version of it, and it should be nice and clear and easy to hear. And obviously in the track, which is what I used to learn it. I'm mumbling a lot today. Anyway, so we'll move on. So that's lick 3. Nice. So yeah, similar to kind of the first lick. The second lick we go into position 2, then we go back here. Then we're going to do this next lick is the lick of the song really that he does throughout the song as kind of a statement thing. We're going to play 6 on the A string, then 5 on the A string, then an open A string. And it's much longer for the A note, the final A note, than for the E flat and the D. And that's over that bit there. So the E flat kind of works over the G, kind of. It's like a flat 6th, so which you know kind of works. Clashes a little bit, but it sounds cool. It's a cool little move. Okay, so that's lick 4. That's an easy one. That's only a bar. So now we're going to get onto the higher bits with the bends. So the next lick is going to be 10th fret on the E string, which we're going to bend up a tone. So we're bending up. I'm going to move so you can see this a bit better. We're going to bend this D note up to this E note. Full tone bend. Then we're going to kind of re-pick and bend it down. Then 8 on the E, then 10 on the E. So we bend it up, re-pick. So before, when we did them, it was up and down with 1 pick. Now we're doing 2 separate picks, and we're going to do the same thing again a little bit. Nice little hammer-on section here. This is literally just kind of working through the pentatonic scale. 7 to 9 on the G string hammer. 8 to 10 on the B string hammer. Then we're going to play 8 on the E string. Then really that then lick goes into the next lick, but I'm artificially breaking up the lick there just so I can play. That was not very good, but you get the idea. Pull off on the 10th fret to the 8th fret then. Then I'm going to bend 10 again. Then I'm going to bend 10 again. So it's 2 bends, and then I re-pick it, bend it down. 8 on the E again, and then 10 on the B. So that's relatively similar, but we're going to do 2 of those bends. So let me just do that lick. It's a little bit longer. Realistically, it's over what, 3 and a bit bars, 3 bars and like 2 beats, which is a half a bar, isn't it, Paul? Okay. Anyway, so. I really enjoyed playing that bit over. I thought that would be more difficult than it was, but it was relatively simple. So yeah, I really enjoyed playing that bit. All very much positioned to minor pentatonic. You know, these are licks that you could use in any song that's in the key of A minor or C. Really, I mean, yeah, because we're not bending that C note. Yeah, really, really cool licks. Anyway, next lick is really the final lick of the solo. We've got. Like that. So we're going to start with a hammer on 7 to 9 on the G string. Then we're going to play 8 on the B string. We're going to do this with our middle finger because that's what's there. First one, we're going to do 2 of them, spoiler, but the first one's staccato, which means we do it like that. Staccato just means you kill the notes. You'll notice it if you're reading music and it has a little dot underneath the note. In the book that I'm using, which is the kind of official Oasis Definitely Maybe book, which is super useful, then it has the dots. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. Where is it? It is there. You can see it has a dot on the tab and a dot on the normal music. This means staccato, okay? Which just means, as I say, you kill the note really, really quickly. Then we're going to play it just normally afterwards. See if my camera can get used to the light. It's just blown its mind. So we've got this start. Then we're going to play 9 on the G. Longer note than you think it's going to be. That's a little tip there, because obviously I played this solo through quite a few times, and then I recorded it a few times, and this was one of the bits I kept going wrong. Kept going a little too early to the next note, which is 7 on the G. We're working our way basically back down the scale again. This sounds like in the track, it's not tabbed as this, but it sounds like in the track that he plays that note, then he kind of almost slides back to the 5 and then re-picks the 5, which is, I think, how I've done it in the solos. It's how I meant to do it. Okay, so then we're going to play 7 on the D string, and as you can probably imagine, we're going to end it by doing that hammer on 5 to 7 on the D. We hold that note for as long as we can get sustain out. My amp's on very, very low because I'm in my house, and then we slide away to nothing. We just yeah, so that's the final lick. I'll do that final lick just on its own. And then what I'll do is I will do the whole solo, you know, classic. I'm just going to quickly do the whole solo very, very slowly. So that's what I'm going to do. Just as a little aside, nice little chord sequence before we go from a G to an E. Love that. Solo. Lick 1. That's the solo. Another cool solo. I think all these years I've been underestimating the coolness of his solos. I think when they came out, this must have come out when I was like, I don't know, 11 or 12 or something like that. I don't know what year it came out. And I really loved this album. I really loved the next album, but I think after that I got into too much widdly stuff, and I've forgotten how enjoyable these solos are. But anyway, so that's Slide Away. Next set of videos are going to do a few videos on Married with Children, which is off the same album. well, probably my favourite track of this album, maybe my favourite track is Married with Children, so I'm really looking forward to doing that one. And then probably a couple more Oasis songs, then we might do something else for a little bit. As usual, you know, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment on the video, nice things. You know, the reason people do it at the end of the video is because it genuinely helps. It moves basically your video up and means more people are likely to click on it and watch it and use it and hopefully enjoy it. And if you've made it this far in the video, well done. And if any of you noticed that my wedding ring isn't on, that's because I broke it at a gig lifting a PA speaker. So pro tip to all you guys who are married out there or thinking of getting married, don't break and lose your wedding ring. There you go, a little pro tip for you. And I will see you guys soon. Bye bye.